I know, we got another sub-ohm tank for you, and this one's called the TCT by SMOK. By the way, TCT meaning temperature controlled. So I got this TCT sitting on this Mods V4, vaping around 40 watts set to 450 degrees with a nickel coil head reading at 0.15 ohms. Pro number one, what drew me to this device were the nickel coil heads. The two nickel coil heads that came with this, whoa, on point as far as flavor production, man. This one's going on 3 weeks. 3 weeks of use, and it's still kicking some major ass, as you guys just saw. The other nickel coil head lasted me 3 weeks as well. It could have gone longer. Second pro, this thing holds a good amount of juice, 5.5 mils of e-liquid. Everything about this tank is simple, and I've got 3 of these bad boys that I've been testing out, so I know they're consistent. Another word that comes to mind is easy. She's easy to fill, easy to adjust the airflow. Both airflow rings at the top and the bottom have the perfect amount of restrictiveness, and she's also easy to take apart and put back together. Hey, and she comes with an extra Pyrex tank, which is good because if you break this one, you got another one to fall back on. And also another pro to mention, the VCT Pro Kanthal heads are compatible with this TCT tank. And in the 6 weeks I've been using this device, I've had 0 leaking. She is a 22mm tank, looks the tits on all my devices, and is compatible with all my devices. The one thing I do want to mention, if you use the VCT Pro Kanthal heads for this tank, do not use it on any hybrid top cap mechanical mod because the 510 connection is not adjustable and it may short out. So don't do it, okay? So before we go over the couple cons I found for this tank, I want to take you guys up close, show you this thing all broken apart, how to fill it up, all that good stuff. Then we'll come back and I'll let you know what these cons are and then where to get one. How about that? So here's the box the SMOK TCT comes in. Lid comes off, and then inside, ooh, what do we have here? A little silica gel pack. It's been a while since I've seen one of these in a vape hardware pack. But hey, this is good, man. It keeps the dampness out. It keeps the moisture out. It keeps everything dry inside the box. Here's the tank. Here's the Pyrex tank I was talking about, the extra Pyrex tank. You also get an extra coil head. But yeah, underneath all that down here, you got a little hidden compartment. What's in here? Oh, okay, an instructional manual. You got an instructional manual. Then you got another silica gel pack to keep everything dry. And then you also have some extra O-rings. You get some extra red O-rings and some extra black O-rings. So if you want, you can swap out the green ones for either the black or the red. Here's the extra Pyrex tank that comes with this device. Here's a close-up look at the TCT. You got a Pyrex tank, and this tank holds 5.5 mils of e-liquid, and then you got this drip tip up here, and a portion of this drip tip is made of Pyrex as well. And then everything else you see besides the O-rings is made of stainless steel. She's 22 millimeters in width, and then with the drip tip this thing comes with, she's 69.5 millimeters in height. Oh yeah, and she weighs 58.5 grams. So let's start with the airflow down at the bottom, okay? You got 2 giant slots, okay? One on one side, one on the other, and here's your adjustable airflow ring, and you just turn it. Turn it to adjust. Oh yeah, perfect amount of restrictiveness like I mentioned in the pros. It really is. Whatever I adjust on this side is going to be the same on this side. Same with the drip tip that comes with this device up top. You have an adjustable airflow ring, adjustable airflow slot, okay, and you just turn it just like so. And it's only one slot. Again, here's the drip tip that comes with this device. It is double O-ringed at the base, and then at the top, the diameter at the bore is 7.7 millimeters. And it tapers down to about 5.5 millimeters. And also, I do want to mention, okay, these O-rings, the bottom O-ring is kind of coming apart on me. I wish they included extra O-rings for this drip tip. But it does have a great fit. I mean, it fits pretty damn good. I mean, hardly any wobble. But if I wanted to take this drip tip out and use my own drip tip, I could do it. I'm going to do it right now. Booyah! Pulling it out and popping my favorite one in. Oh, yeah. So how it works is, just like a lot of these other sub-ohm tanks, the coil head is screwed into the base, but then inside the coil head, the top of the coil head, there are threads which screw into the shaft. So what you're going to do is, you want to go ahead and just pull it back, and then as you're pulling it back, you twist it to the left, and it unscrews. And here's the tank section, obviously with the drip tip, but all you do to fill it up is you turn it upside down and fill it up in between that shaft and the tank. Easy peasy, what a sleazy! Tank comes out. Here's the Pyrex tank. Here's the shaft and the top cap. Inside there, you don't see it and you're not going to be able to see it, but you got those threads, and the threads screw into the top of the coil head. And then the coil head is screwed into the base. We're going to unscrew that. And then here's a quick look at the base, okay? You got the adjustable airflow, which we already went over. And here is the actual base of this device. It says designed by SMOK. And then you got these threads, the 510 threads, which are smooth. They're clean. I mean, it fits on all my devices, like I mentioned. But you have a stainless steel pin, and it is not adjustable. Here's the inside of the base, and you got those threads, and that's where the coil head screws into. So here's one of the nickel coil heads that come with this device. You receive 2 of these bad boys, and they are the exact same. They are the TCT nickel coil heads, 0.15 ohm. Okay, recommended 400 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit to vape this sucker, 200 to 315 degrees Celsius. You got 2 slots, okay, 1 slot on one side, 1 slot on the other, and then inside there, the lining is your Japanese organic cotton. It does house the Japanese organic cotton in there, okay, and then at the top, you got this big screen for spit back, and then you got your vertical coil in there. But at the top, okay, you got your threads, and those threads, that's what screws into the shaft. Pin comes out, rubber grommet. There are your leads, and then your Japanese organic cotton, and you can see your coil up through there, your vertical coil. And there's your nickel wire, okay? There's no way to get this thing out, man. Not the right way. Ooh, look at that. That's all like gunk. And here is the, what was the coil, the actual nickel wire. Now, what I love about this nickel, look how shiny it is. Yeah, it's shiny. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Other than this gunk that's on my fingers. And that's the juice, man. That's the juice that's gunked up. Here's the organic cotton, the Japanese cotton. And it is definitely cotton, that's for sure. There's the other piece of that cotton in there. Screen up top, your lining right there, your organic Japanese lining. Screw the new coil head into the base of this device. Tank section fits over the top cap / shaft section. And then all we're going to do is turn it upside down and fill this bad boy up. I like to leave just a little bit of gap, a little bit of an air pocket. Now all we're going to do is just prime this coil head up. Press fit in, and then all we do is just screw her in. Pop the drip tip in there, and we are ready to vape. Before we take her back to FaceTime, I do want to mention quality control, machine quality, machine oil, all that good stuff. Okay, I give this thing a good 7, 7.5 out of a 10 as far as quality control, machine quality. There were a few scratches on there. I mean, it wasn't mint, but you know what? It's pretty darn good, and it was clean. I gotta say that. There was no machine oil on there. 1 rinse, 1 wash, and I was good to go. So that right there is the TCT. Let's go ahead and take her back to FaceTime and wrap this sucker up. First con, false marketing. I'm going to go ahead and read what they said on the back of their box and let you guys be the judge, but from what I'm reading, it's false marketing. Here we go. The TCT can avoid dry burning by installing the nickel temperature sensing coil, thus producing unmatched safety and consistency, and it works perfectly with temperature control mods as well as those standard ones. First of all, nickel temperature sensing coil, so you're telling me that the nickel coil heads you guys provide have a chip in there that senses or controls or regulates the temperature? What? Really? The nickel coil heads that come with this device are not going to regulate the temperature for you. You need a temperature control mod to do that. To me, that's misleading, okay? A newbie could buy this tank, not have a temperature control mod, and pop it on a regular mod and think it's okay to use. Not good. And also, SMOK or Smoke Tech, do not mention that these nickel coil heads work perfectly for standard mods, because they don't. They're not meant to be used for standard mods. Nickel coil heads are meant to be used for temperature mods, temperature sensing mods, okay? So for all you guys out there, you newbies watching this, just know that nickel coil heads or nickel wire is meant for temperature controlled mods. And then the subjective con that I found for this device, the second con, is that this thing does not include an RBA section. If it included an RBA section, for me, it would seal the deal, baby. It would be, oh, winner, chicken dinner. Smoke Tech, smoketech.com. They're the guys that sent this device to me to review for you guys, okay? But I found a shop, online shop that I know of that I can vouch for, Vapor DNA, vapordna.com, okay? They're selling this thing for $26.99. And Vapor DNA is also selling a 5-pack of the nickel coil heads for this device for $13.99. Now on to the big question, the big answer of the day. If I'd have lost this today, would I go out tomorrow and buy one? And the answer is yes. And the reason is, well, not only because all the pros I mentioned about this thing being squeaky clean, all that good stuff, but the coil heads, man. These coil heads, all these tanks, they're only as good as their coil heads if they don't have an RBA section. But the coil heads for this device, whoa. But you guys do have to keep in mind, I've only used the 2 nickel coil heads that came with this package. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.